Boston tonight, gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So Lee Goldberg is standing by. But we begin tonight with President Trump's tariff whiplash. In a major reversal of the trade war he ignited with Mexico and Canada, he now says he'll pause many of his tariffs for another month. Even with that news that he'll put it on hold, the Dow dropping again more than 400 points today. The president just 2 days after imposing those 25% tariffs on imports from America's closest neighbors, saying he will suspend most of those tariffs until April 2nd, of course, less than a month from now. There have been wild swings this week in the market, the Dow falling 427 points today, the third day of losses this week. Tonight, the president insisting his reversal on tariffs has nothing to do with the markets. ABC's Rachel Scott leading us off at the White House.
Tonight, a stunning reversal by the White House after a roller coaster week on Wall Street. President Trump putting a pause on many of his 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico. Still, the Dow dropping more than 400 points. Investors anxious about the turmoil Trump's tariffs have created. The president, who has famously watched the markets, insisting they played no role in his decision.
No, nothing to do with the market. I'm not even looking at the market.
Trump saying he agreed to pause the tariffs as a, quote, accommodation and out of respect for Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum.
And I spoke to the president of Mexico, wonderful woman, today, and we helped them out with the problem they were having to do with the tariffs, short-term tariffs.
But he made it clear this was only going to be a short-term pause, just until April 2nd. Economists warn that tariffs are paid by American businesses, and they pass the cost along to consumers by raising prices. And Trump himself acknowledges prices could rise.
There'll always be a little short-term interruption. I don't think it's going to be big, but the countries and companies that have been ripping us aren't particularly happy with what I'm doing. But the United States will be very happy. And, you know, our farmers are going to be very happy. And again, there'll be disruption.
The current pause will lift tariffs on many, but not all products coming in from Canada and Mexico. Still across the country, the stress is palpable. In Columbus, Ohio, Ada Wilson owns the Rio Fresh grocery store that relies on fruits and vegetables imported from Mexico.
When we have to provide fresh every day, prices change every day and it's going up. So we're trying to not to raise our prices, but it's affecting the business.
In Riverside, California, Matt Obrey sells lumber used to build homes, much of that wood imported from Canada. He says when the cost of lumber goes up, so does the price of a new house.
You can see $10,000 to $15,000 added on to the framing cost of a house, easily. Because there's so many different items that we do buy from Canada.
Trump making it clear today this is only a short-term pause. It comes after he granted a one-month pause to the big three American automakers who complained the tariffs would devastate the industry.
And I said, look, I'm going to do it, but that's it. Don't come back to me after the April 2nd. I don't want to hear from you after April 2nd. We're not going to be doing it anymore.
And it comes despite his promise to voters that he would tackle inflation on day one and quickly bring down the cost of living.
We will end inflation and we will make America affordable again. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again.
The White House is hoping that this move will calm some of the instability in the markets, but the president has made it clear he is moving forward with those tariffs next month. So the big question tonight, how much impact will this pause have when businesses are already bracing for impact anyway, David?
Rachel Scott leading us off tonight. Rachel, thank you. Next tonight, the dangerous winds as we're on the air tonight. 70 million Americans under high wind alerts from Georgia up through D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Boston tonight could see 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast. Stephanie Ramos with the storm right before these winds.
Quicksand. Quicksand. This is the glamping life era. Think quick. Think quick. What's your survival care?
I bet they made a contest to see who would do it the best, but a different budget. Some in jail, some with millions. Who would make the best record? Who knows? I guess we'll have to look at the score. Like that Black Mirror episode. I'm rarely in my right mind, but I'm still glad it never left me. But my mind blanks out when it's triggered. But the gag is, all the triggers are new. I have noticed when it happens, I start forgetting current mindfulness, processing what just happened to make me think or go to a memory and think of something else, and then I go into a strain of random thoughts and memories. Like the images of fire take me back to the movie Backdraft. Then they did a recreation of the simulation of the fire at Universal Studios. I was about 5 or 6. I was standing next to my dad. There was an explosion. I gripped him hard in fear. He gripped me back tighter in protection.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
According to the apartment manager, the fire started in a woman's home who is wheelchair bound. She was treated for smoke inhalation at a local hospital. There were no other reports of injuries. The Red Cross is helping those families displaced by the fire.
Quicksand, quicksand. This is your glamping era life. Think quick, think quick. What shall take care survival plan? Cause the black box, it ain't recording. The black box, it ain't recording. Self-love, self-love. Are you snoring?
Late night gossiping. Late night gossip. Late night. Late night. Late night gossip. You hurt my eyes. You hurt my ears. You hurt my spirit. But you hurt my soul. You all reek. You all hurt my nose. I see you behind me. Do you like what you see? I have to ask, 'cause you keep following me, listening to my late night gossip. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you love from me. You want this tea either way. According to your logic, look at all these boys you fostered. Conversations with strangers. You make me do often. Late night tip turns to late night gossip. Red eye turns to late night rockets. Text messages turn to pillow talking. I think even my self-love is toxic. I think even my heart and mind be boxing. Meanwhile, my heart be beatboxing. Peeping toms be acting like they window washing. Peeping toms be acting like they window shopping. Haters constantly cop blocking. People, they show me hate, still stalking. I'm unforgettable, 'cause they still gossip. Love and hates, it's all sponsored.
In a very disrespectful way. Let's take a listen to the sample that he posted of Game Rap, and then we'll get into the story.
Let's go.
I see my destiny's child. The ever was stressing me out. Notice my stomach in knots, so I took a couple of shots. I think I whipped off the yacht. Mission is tricking or not.
So they doing a song about Tina Knowles?
So I don't know like how? So okay, first of all, in the beginning of that sampled music that you hear that the game was rapping over, that's Tina Knowles' audio from when she did the Jennifer Hudson Tunnel. Yeah, so I don't know if the song is really fully about her, or they just reference her a little bit because we can't hear the full song yet. But what I didn't like was in promotion of it, they posted her. Kanye posted her Jennifer Hudson Tunnel walkthrough, right? And the caption was "Game finna slide for the guys." And then he posted a DM to Miss Tina Knowles. It's a banana peeled, and the caption says, "This is Game's phone." And it's like, bro, this is Miss Tina Knowles. Please put some respect on her. Yeah. Like, yes, she does. Because Game commenting under one of Kanye's posts and said she looks so good, like basically for her age. She looks amazing for 46 years old with the fire emojis, right?
Tina Knowles is 71 years old.
I think he's being, you know what I mean? He knows a banana. But I just think
with people's moms.
Yeah. But it's Miss Tina Knowles. Like, it's just, I feel like you just don't play with her.
And one of the producers up here, Brandon, he was like, I think that was disrespectful. Because he's used to the eggplant being used as the penis or whatever, right? But my thing is, all right, even if it wasn't supposed to be sexual, what they calling a monkey? Like, cause the banana, like, why?
I get what you're saying, but I feel like if you're talking about you gonna slide on Miss Tina Knowles and then you post a banana, we know what that means. Yeah, and I don't like that. Don't play with her.
Y'all realize the only thing keeping Kanye West going is the media, right? Like, you don't have to acknowledge him. You don't even got to talk about him. Like, why talk about a clown?
That's why he keep doing stuff like that.
Exactly. So you talk about him.
And Game just happy somebody is noticing him.
I mean, but if it's there, it's fair game.
It is, but you don't.
No pun intended.
It is, but you give him what he wants. He's only doing these antics just for you to talk about.
If we don't talk about him, someone else will.
I just don't like that, because if somebody did that to Kanye's mom, he would wild out. Right? He would flip things. He would backflip. I mean, but even though if his mom was here and somebody did something to his mom like that, or even the fact that she did pass and somebody did play with his mom's name, he would wild out. Yeah. You don't play with people's moms. You don't play with people's kids.
Hey, you know that.
That's crazy.
But and that's Jay mother-in-law. That's supposed to be your people's at one point.
Kanye just ain't never been punched in the face.
Obviously.
That's just the reality of the situation. You can always tell people who've never gotten a punch in the face.
Obviously.
Kanye West is one of those.
It's crazy because you got punched and you still be getting crazy.
Because
he ain't get punched in his face. That was in a big case.
No, but that should tell you something.
He ain't gonna get disrespectful with somebody's mother or somebody's
ever. You actually the sweetest person ever behind the scenes.
I wouldn't say that.
Girl, what? Please.
Such a southern sweet person behind the scenes.
All right, bye.
On camera, he like the drag wigs.
Oh, really?
And act like the face is not
you gonna tell her a lie?
Let's wrap it up. I ain't lying.
Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Who you giving your donkey to?
First of all, we got a special announcement, and then we're giving donkey today to Enrique Tarrio. We'd like to have a word with him.
All right, well, let's get to that now, and let's get to that announcement.
You said it because he booked you 3 weeks.
Wake up. You're locked into the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the Godhead, I want you to know that our audible pick of the day is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Tap into your power and stop wasting time on things you can't control. Listen when you sign up for a free trial at audible.com/Breakfast Club. WRDG Atlanta's going down. 96.1 The Beat. 96.1 The Beat. Atlanta's new home for hip-hop, R&B, and the Breakfast Club. Peace to the planet. I go by the name of Charlamagne the God, and I can't wait to see y'all at the 3rd annual Black Effect Podcast Festival. That's right, yeah.
Quicksand. Post check. What's your plan? What's next? April Fools, bitches!
They can testify against you and I. But at the end of the day, our love songs are the only ones with play. They cannot break this love, even with luck on stage. But it ain't luck, it's a lot of praise. I even dance, I even pray. I protected that so hard, I really don't know how far that ball lay. I projected that, but I don't know where. 10 little puppets fucking on the bed. They all fell off and they bumped their heads. They tried to recover, but the doctor said they all dead. Soulless zombies smiling, calling your name. I told you they can't keep you out of it. To remain with fame. Love or hate, it's all the same. The only difference is the tone when they say your name. 'Cause you hear it when they say it, but you know it. It ain't the same. I don't want all these people, 'cause we ain't equal. They irrelevant. They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant. A lot of featured on the sequel. I don't want you to degrade yourself. Don't degrade yourself. Don't degrade yourself. I want you to elevate yourself.
Pulse check. Pulse check. Quicksand. Quicksand. Parachute. Parachute. Where do you land?
'Cause this is my circus and this is my circuit. I hope I make you feel nervous. I hope you feel like you get the service. Because I come with a purpose. And I'll adjust to your needs. I'll be curious. I'll be curious. I'll be courteous. Bow to your feet, push it to the limit. I'll take it even further. I'll plant you some seeds and make sure you nurture. This is your posture. I'll give you privacy. Go ahead, slide the curtain, because this is my circus and this is my circuit. I'm the mother. I'm perfect. I'll make you feel good, but I can also worse that, because I have the tendency to trigger what's buried beneath. I'll make it come to the surface with no concern, no alerts, because this is your pulse check. Are you alive or just living? 'Cause I'm making sure. What did you do this week? That's it, nothing more, just 5 things, nothing more. That's okay. I have the itinerary to make you explore. This ringleader, yeah, she comes through your front door. 'Cause this is my circus, and this is my circuit. This is your pulse check. This is your pop quiz. Bob for the apple. I'll just squirt some G's. I'm the ringleader, and this is my circus. Check your pulse if you feel nervous.
Opportunity turned into a confrontation. Let's listen.
You were coward that day. You were coward after. Just go home. Just go home. You're a traitor to this country. So you find your ass, and that's why your own people put on you. A little failure. Run from me. Run from me. Run from me. You can say that while you're over there.
Enrique, do you know you were absolutely wrong? You were absolutely wrong on January 6th, and you were absolutely wrong in how you handled former Capitol Police Officer Michael Fanone. Just know, that he is a member of law enforcement, former member of law enforcement, but still a member of law enforcement, okay? He's a member of law enforcement, a public servant who took an oath to protect and serve the Capitol, and that's exactly what he did. And y'all beat on that man for doing his job, tased that man for doing his job, and caused him to have a heart attack for doing his job. Michael Fanone, you heard in the audio just now, he used the right and exact language when talking to Enrique. You are a traitor to this country. You orchestrated a coup to overthrow the results of an election, and you are making your president, Donald J. Trump, look like a fool because he said January 6th was a day of love. He said you all were patriots. Where is the love, Enrique? Where is the respect for yourself? Where is the respect for your president and the pardon he gave you, okay? All you did with this stunt was make him look crazy for even pardoning you in the first place, okay? It's people right now who think you should be in prison with Kool-Aid on your lips, identifying as someone's prison babe.
Okay, in fact, insurrections and orgies have one thing in common. If you don't have a real plan, which y'all didn't, it ends up being just a bunch of dudes standing around with nothing to do but each other. I don't even know why my brain works like that, but the moral of the story is, Enrique, you got hit with 22 years because you helped orchestrate the chaos of January 6th. You got a sweet deal with a pardon. Do you know how many non-violent drug offenders in prison right now would love to have a pardon? And instead of humbling yourself, you out here with your chest out like you did a bid for something honorable? Look, man, this isn't about politics. It's about accountability. Okay, Enrique, you are the poster child for ungratefulness. You got a blessing in the form of a pardon. And instead of falling back, staying low, letting time pass, you chose to still be on BS with a former police officer who almost died because of foolishness you helped to orchestrate. Please remember, Enrique, you got pardoned. Okay, not exonerated. If you are seen as a traitor and clown, guess what? You earned that. Okay, you planned an attack on the Capitol. You inspired people to go to war over a lie that the election was stolen. And what makes it worse, you didn't even go get your hands dirty with them on January 6th. Please let me give Enrique Terrio the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
That's right. All right.
Crazy.
You hear that norovirus? I know that norovirus when I hear it now.
Yeah, she usually got a mask on. She chilling with none on today.
What's up, man?
Coughing.
Why you just sneeze in that direction? You can't be sneezing to me. I got places to be. All right. Okay, like the 3rd annual Black Effect Podcast Festival, which is happening Wednesday, Saturday, April 26th. Okay? Tickets go on sale tomorrow, Wednesday, February 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern, okay? The Trap Nerds Podcast, Good Moms, Bad Choices Podcast, the Naked Sports Podcast with Carrie Champion, the R&B Money Podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine, and the Woman Evolved Podcast with Sarah Jakes Roberts, okay? Tickets on sale February 26th, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, April 26th, Pullman Yards, Atlanta, Georgia, hosted by Mandy B. and Weezy, 3rd annual Black Effect Podcast Festival. We'll see you there.
That's right. Shout out to Louis V. He'll be DJing that.
My guy Louis V. will be providing the soundtrack.
What up, Louis?
Drop on the clues bomb for Louis V.
Now, let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. Elon Musk sent out an email to all federal workers asking for the list of what they have accomplished at their jobs in the last week. All right, so we're asking 800-585-1051. We want to hear from federal workers. Actually, Amani from D.C., she called earlier this morning. She's works at the Naval Yard, and this is what she said this morning when she called in.
This the emails that we get sent every day. It's the threats that we get sent every day. We have a meeting on a bi-daily basis about what to expect. First thing in the morning is already frustrating. And then you got to come in and turn your emails on, and you get a whole bunch of blasts of, you may need to respond to this or don't respond to this. If you don't respond to this, you know, Trump is going off and you may lose your job. Prime example, we had a meeting yesterday. One girl, she did take the resignation offer. Unfortunately, there's no funding. She's not getting no money. She's upset.
Also, she took the resignation office offer and realized that the resignation offer wasn't even a real offer.
Because there's no money?
There's no money.
Man, salute to all the families out there being affected by the federal funding cuts, man. People with disabilities, veterans, elderly people. I was telling you earlier, one of my homies was telling me about Easter Seals and how Easter Seals got gutted. If you don't know what Easter Seals is, it's an American 501 nonprofit that provides disability services with additional support areas, serving veterans and military families, seniors, caregivers. And, you know, one of my man's children used to go there 3 days a week. Now they can only go 1 day a week. Wow. Because of all the cuts that have happened. So, man, so just salute to all the families out there being affected by what's happening. All right. Well, let's open federal government. Let's open up the...
April Fools, April Fools. It's quicksand. Candy lady on the beat. Let's make a band. I ain't Candy Man. I ain't Boogie Man. I ain't Beetlejuice. But you can summon my demons if you a fan. It's not what you did, it's how you did it. Sincerely, my friend. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Sincerely, my mom. Sometimes you leave footprints in the sand. Sometimes you sink in the quicksand. Sometimes you summon demons, talking to God. Sometimes you summon demons when you talking to fans. Lily refuses to say her alphabet past the letter M. But when I turn my back, she admits she knows them. She said them. She knows them, but refuses to admit it, especially in front of me. Oh, demons make her. But she and I know it scares her. I summon my demons and she admits it scares her. I ain't Candyman, I ain't Boogeyman, I ain't Beetlejuice, but I can let my demons run loose. My PTSD, my anxiety, my mental issues come through. I'm scary, y'all. I mean, and sometimes I have no clue. Candy lady, candy lady, candy lady. I might be sweet, but I will cut you. I'm not Candyman, I'm not Boogeyman, the ice cream man. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I think it's showtime, my friend.
Boston tonight, gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So Lee Goldberg is standing by. But we begin tonight with President Trump's tariff whiplash. In a major reversal in the trade war he ignited with Mexico and Canada, he now says he'll pause many of his tariffs for another month. Even with that news that he'll put it on hold, the Dow dropping again more than 400 points today. The president just 2 days after imposing those 25% tariffs on imports from America's closest neighbors, saying he will suspend most of those tariffs until April 2nd. Of course, less than a month from now. There have been wild swings this week in the market, the Dow falling 427 points today, the third day of losses this week. Tonight, the president insisting his reversal on tariffs has nothing to do with the markets. ABC's Rachel Scott leading us off at the White House.
Tonight, a stunning reversal by the White House after a roller coaster week on Wall Street. President Trump putting a pause on many of his 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico. Still, the Dow dropping more than 400 points. Investors anxious about the turmoil Trump's tariffs have created. The president, who has famously watched the markets, insisting they played no role in his decision.
No, nothing to do with the market. I'm not even looking at the market.
Trump saying he agreed to pause the tariffs as a, quote, accommodation and out of respect for Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum.
And I spoke to the president of Mexico, wonderful woman, today, and we helped them out with the problem they were having to do with the tariffs, short-term tariffs.
But he made it clear this was only going to be a short-term pause, just until April 2nd. Economists warn that tariffs are paid by American businesses, and they pass the cost along to consumers by raising prices. And Trump himself acknowledges prices could rise.
There'll always be a little short-term interruption. I don't think it's going to be big, but the countries and companies that have been ripping us aren't particularly happy with what I'm doing. But the United States will be very happy. And, you know, our farmers are going to be very happy. And again, there'll be disruption.
The current pause will lift tariffs on many, but not all products coming in from Canada and Mexico. Still across the country, the stress is palpable. In Columbus, Ohio, Ada Wilson owns the Rio Fresh grocery store that relies on fruits and vegetables imported from Mexico.
When we have to provide fresh every day, prices change every day and it's going up. So we're trying to not to raise our prices, but it's affecting the business.
In Riverside, California, Matt Obrey sells lumber used to build homes, much of that wood imported from Canada. He says when the cost of lumber goes up, so does the price of a new house.
You can see $10,000 to $15,000 added on to the framing cost of a house easily. Because there's so many different items that we do buy from Canada.
Trump making it clear today this is only a short-term pause. It comes after he granted a one-month pause to the big three American automakers who complained the tariffs would devastate the industry.
And I said, look, I'm going to do it, but that's it. Don't come back to me after the April 2nd. I don't want to hear from you after April 2nd. We're not going to be doing it anymore.
And it comes despite his promise to voters that he would tackle inflation on day one and quickly bring down the cost of living.
We will end inflation and we will make America affordable again. Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again.
The White House is hoping that this move will calm some of the instability in the markets, but the president has made it clear he is moving forward with those tariffs next month. So the big question tonight, how much impact will this pause have when businesses are already bracing for impact anyway, David?
Rachel Scott leading us off tonight. Rachel, thank you. Next tonight, the dangerous winds as we're on the air tonight. 70 million Americans under high wind alerts from Georgia up through D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Boston tonight could see 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast. Stephanie Ramos with the storm right before these winds.
Unicorn. Ow. Take that, dragon. Fire breathing dragon.
You're a dragon. You broke my magic wand.
Unicorn.
Magic slide. You're here, God slide.
Yeah. You want to see if he got candy? Oh, he's about to leave.
Yeah.
He might have candy. I don't know. Unicorn. Oh, he's about to.
Get out of the way.
The new warnings from Trump cap off a head-spinning week in Washington. On Tuesday, Trump imposed 25% tariffs on Mexican and Canadian imports. On Wednesday, a 1-month exemption for American car makers. Then 1 day later, another 1-month delay for tariffs on most goods from Mexico and Canada. The confusion and chaos tanking the stock market in one of its worst weeks in 6 months. The president saying the uncertainty is here to stay.
There'll always be changes and adjustments. There'll always be some modifications. I mean, if you have a wall in front of you, sometimes you have to go around the wall instead of through it.
What Doge is really trying to do.
Outside of Washington, Republicans also feeling the heat, voters slamming Trump and Elon Musk's efforts to downsize the federal government.
And I'd love for you to stand up to Doge and Elon Musk and speak out against any more cuts.
Elon Musk is not hiring or firing anybody. That is left up to the department heads.
In a tense White House meeting, the billionaire clashing with members of the cabinet over cuts. Trump downplaying the dispute, saying the administration will be more targeted going forward.
And Selena Wang joins us now from the White House. Selena, you're also learning new details about the Republican plan to avert a government shutdown.
That's right. House Speaker Mike Johnson has unveiled a spending bill that would keep the government funded through September. It boosts resources for immigration enforcement and defense while cutting some other programs here at home. But actually getting that bill passed will be a major challenge. Democrats are against it. They argue that it empowers Elon Musk in his efforts to aggressively slash federal spending.
A lot of moving parts in Washington. Selena, thank you. And tune into This Week tomorrow morning. Jonathan Karl speaks with top White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett about the economic fallout from President Trump's shifting tariff decisions. We go overseas now, and Russia launching a new wave of deadly aerial assaults against Ukraine. More than 20 people killed during the attacks. Dozens of people have been injured, including children, and several buildings damaged and destroyed. The latest violence follows the U.S. decision to withhold intelligence and military aid to Ukraine. ABC's Perry Russum reports from Washington.
Tonight, another wave of Russian airstrikes across multiple Ukrainian towns. At least 20 people killed, dozens hurt, children among the injured. In the Donetsk region in eastern Ukraine, several apartment buildings hit. In Odessa, buildings left in a fiery rubble. Windows blown out another. This man says adults cover children like the shell of a turtle. The attacks come after the Trump administration froze military aid to Ukraine and hours after the U.S. cut off their access to commercial satellite imagery.
When it comes to the intelligence pause, that has an immediate effect. And Russia took advantage of it by launching a substantial aerial bombardment.
European leaders vowing to increase their defense budgets and provide assistance to Ukraine. Trump yesterday before the latest attacks.
President Putin is bombing Ukraine.
Yeah.
Do you still believe him when he tells you that he wants peace?
Yeah, no, I believe him. I believe him. I think we're doing very well with Russia. But right now they're bombing the hell out of Ukraine, and I'm finding it more difficult, frankly, to deal with Ukraine.
The Russian attacks come ahead of a crucial meeting between U.S. and Ukrainian officials on Tuesday in Saudi Arabia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says there were many calls with the Trump administration yesterday saying intensive work is ongoing.
Do you, Mr. President, think that Vladimir Putin is taking advantage of the U.S. pause right now on intelligence and military aid to Ukraine?
No, I actually think he's doing what anybody else would do. I think he wants to get it stopped and settled, and I think he's hitting them harder than he's been hitting them.
President Trump says based on the fact that Russia is pounding Ukraine, as he says, he is considering sanctions and tariffs against Russia until there is a ceasefire and peace deal in place.
Whit. Perry Russum for us tonight. Thank you. Growing concerns following deadly clashes in Syria as well. More than 1,000 people, mostly civilians, have died during fighting between government forces and supporters of former President Bashar al-Assad. Let's bring in ABC's Lama Hassan. And Lama, this raises major questions about stability once again in Syria.
Yeah, that's right. We're tonight a major escalation in sectarian violence in several Syrian cities on its west coast, with strong images circulating online. 2 days of fierce fighting between the new government security forces and loyalists of the ousted former President Bashar al-Assad have killed at least 1,000 people, and most of them are civilians. Dramatic nighttime videos showing the violence. You can hear the sound of gunfire. The deadly clashes erupting on Thursday after pro-Assad loyalists ambushed members of the government security forces. The fighting spread with revenge killings for those deaths. There are growing fears that this could trigger more ethnic reprisals and more bloodshed. Whit.
All right, Lama Hassan, thank you. Back here in the U.S., a deadly and tragic night in New Jersey. A detective fatally shot and another officer in critical condition after a gunfight on the streets of Newark. A 14-year-old facing multiple charges, including murder and attempted murder. Here's ABC's Ika Jachi.
Quicksand, quicksand. Will this fame set me free? Quicksand, quicksand. Afterlife. No more after me. March 5th, 2025. Eminem. I'm on M&M's. I'm eating M&M's. You know Eminem? I'll kill you. I'm just kidding. April Fool's. Free versus fame. You see, what I'm saying and what I'm doing are two different things. I know. But eventually, they add up. I'm sorry. Who am I talking to? Please don't tell me you're this crazy. No. It's really just too many voices watching me. And it drove me insane. How many people are you really driving on this lane? How much freedom is sacrificed for fame? How much composure do you think I can maintain? I'm sinking in my own hydroplane, filming the cameras that film for personal gain. I like my freedom. I don't care about fame. Sometimes I'm a leader simply because people came. I'm only a follower to people that I like something about how they think and what they see. Quicksand, 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 please. Don't sink me. Save me. I'm the Princess Bride. Where's my prince? Oh, he's famous. And I desire to be less. He's perfect. And I'm usually a mess. I have freedom. He has fame. Locked doors, but the key is I call his name. I sunk in quicksand. I sunk in quicksand. He saved me. And he didn't even hesitate. I charged an entrance to this door, and he still banged on the gate. Is it a crime? Is it a crime? Shout out, Sade. Let that boy in. Don't play with fate.
And Doug.
You'll be back! Emus can't help people customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. You're just a flightless bird!
No, he's a dreamer, Frank.
5 years later.
And Doug.
Well, I'll be. That bird really did it.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty.
Hangers, 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 hangers. I made sure. Oh, I made sure I sent you those hangers. Good, because this little hangman appreciates that gift to me. And I made sure I send this gift to you. Why so serious? You're hazing to this club is picking you like strange fruit. I still want to give you the unedited version, but I'll just wait till your funeral. I own a demon. I don't let it loose. I don't let loose of it. Because it will fucking kill you. The shenanigans. This hangman lines up what it chooses. This hangman lines up what it chooses. Fuck around if you want to. I ain't got no insurance, so really, I have nothing to lose. I have no home, no phone. I'm in the zone and always spoke the truth. I'll rob you. Call me Nunu. And my hangers, they'll hang you. High and dry, laundry crimes. Laundry line. My hangers are covered by the garment bags. They're protected, but I see them hanging out the opening. So I'm always able to see the tag. The buttons, all buttons turn me on. They're my favorite notions. They're fragile. Some are plastic, some are dirty. Like the ones you sent me, the zipper. It's dirty. The hooks, they're solid. My peepholes they're pretty. They're pretty petty. My hangers will hang you. My third screenplay gave me a clue. This bird it really did it. You're the prey, and I will kill you. You don't wanna fuck with Alicia, 'cause Alicia will fucking kill you.
I'm just kidding, guys. April Fools!
Today on the Daily Dose, the history of April Fool's Day. While the exact origins of April Fool's Day remain shrouded in debate, some historians have speculated that April Fool's Day dates back to 1582, when France switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, as mandated by the Council of Trent in 1563. Since the Julian calendar places the new year on April 1st, people who were slow to get the news or failed to recognize that the new year had moved to January 1st became the butt of jokes and hoaxes when dullards continued to celebrate New Year's on April 1st. Frenchmen in the know would place a paper fish on the back of ignorant revelers, calling them Poisson d'Avril, or April fish. Other historians have linked April Fool's Day to ancient Roman festivals such as Hilaria, which is Latin for joyful, when people dressed up in disguises and mocked both average citizens and magistrates alike. Still others have speculated that the day was tied to the vernal equinox, or first day of spring in the northern hemisphere, when Mother Nature frequently fooled people with changing, unpredictable weather. Despite these competing origin theories, April Fool's Day spread throughout Britain during the 18th century. In Scotland, for instance, the tradition became a two-day event, starting with hunting the gowk, in which people were sent on phony errands, followed by Tally Day, which involved playing pranks on people's derrieres, such as the pinning of fake tails or kidney signs. In modern times, people have gone to great lengths to create elaborate April Fool's Day hoaxes, such as the 1957 BBC report that Swiss farmers were experiencing a record-setting spaghetti harvest, replete with photographs of people harvesting noodles from trees. In 1985, Sports Illustrated writer George Plimpton tricked many readers when he ran a made-up article about a rookie pitcher named Sid Finch, who could throw a fastball over 168 miles an hour, while a 1996 announcement by Taco Bell duped people when it announced it had purchased Philadelphia's Liberty Bell with the intent of renaming it the Taco Liberty Bell. Burger King followed up on Taco Bell's prank in 1998, advertising their new left-handed Whopper, prompting scores of clueless customers to order the non-existent sandwich. And there you have it, the history of April Fool's Day, today on the Daily Dose. For the record, I wouldn't believe a single word this guy says. If you like learning something new every day, subscribe to the Daily Dose on YouTube, or sign up for emails at dailydosenow.com.
This young lady was and everyone out of here. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. Most Grammys never won out of here. That doesn't work. You know. Some of you gonna go home tonight and feel like it's been robbed. Some of you may be robbed. Some of you don't belong to the couch.
Hello, I'm here to speak with Dr. Hanover. I'm sorry, darling, he's not talking to press right now. Oh, I'm not the press, I'm the new night shift nurse. Dr. Hanover hasn't technically hired me yet, but I'm supposed to have a formal interview with him at 11, as this letter clearly states. Okay, 1 second, I'm just gonna go get a nurse. Oh, I'm sorry. You aren't a nurse? Me? No, I'm a nurse trainee. I admire nurses more than anything. They really are God's angels. Yes, we are. Okay, be right back. Where did you get this? You must be the head nurse. Mildred Ratchet. I didn't ask what your name was. Where did you get the letter? Why it was sent to me. That's where I'm confused. Because there is no one in his office except for Dr. Hanover and myself. I didn't send that, and I can assure you that isn't Dr. Hanover's signature. I have come quite a long way and would just like to speak with him. Dr. Hanover is out of the office till later this afternoon. If you'd like to leave a number, we don't mind. I'd prefer to wait here. He'll be gone sometime. You just said he'd return in the afternoon. It could be longer. Well, then it could be shorter, by your own logic. I truly don't mind waiting. I have nowhere else to be. Very well.
Exact origin is unclear. However, the Fool card is one of the oldest and most enduring symbols in tarot. In some decks, this card represents new beginnings, while in others, it signifies danger and unpredictability. Greetings, Wanderer. We embark on a journey in search of the Fool, and even he doesn't know where he will lead us. In 1509, Erasmus of Rotterdam wrote his famous In Praise of Folly. Although it was a satire, it reflected some real medieval conceptions of folly. In the Middle Ages, folly was considered more of a positive quality. A foolish person lacks ego but possesses humility and the ability to see the world from an unexpected perspective. In the oldest surviving fool cards, we also see madmen behaving like children. This applies to both the deck of Charles VI and the Visconti Sforza deck. From the same medieval conceptions of folly, the tradition of court jesters emerged. In this medieval illustration, the famous Triblet, who served as a court jester to Louis XII and Francis I, is depicted as an old man, which is not a coincidence. According to legend, Triblet was threatened with execution for mocking the pompous queen. Francis first summoned the jester and demanded,
"Choose the punishment you believe you deserve for your actions. I promise you will die exactly as you choose."
"Your Majesty, I choose the most cruel death in the world, death from old age."
The king burst into laughter and fulfilled his promise. Another historically existing jester was Stanzik, who lived at the court of Lithuanian princes and Polish kings in the 16th century. He became famous as an intelligent and deeply thoughtful person, forced to wear a jester's cap. We also see the fool in a jester's cap in the Attila deck. It is well known that it was Attila in the 18th century in France who created the first tarot deck specifically for divination purposes. In his deck, the Fool card is numbered as 78, thus completing the deck. In other tarot decks, the Fool card is usually numbered as 0, symbolizing its position at the beginning of the deck. Another Frenchman, Chiquet, lived 2 centuries before Attila. He entered history as a jester who never wore a cap and bells. On the contrary, Chiquet dressed like a true aristocrat and always carried a sword, skillfully wielding it as a true Gascon. Naturally, he was a favorite among women, and his character was immortalized by Alexandre Dumas in his novel, The Count of Monte Cristo, which has been adapted to the screen multiple times. Here is a fragment from one of the earliest French film adaptations, dating all the way back to 1923. On the Fool card of the Rider-Waite Tarot, we also see a handsome youth, with all paths open before him. The precipice here signifies new impressions, new experiences, a new life. The white rose in the Fool's hand symbolizes purity of soul, innocence. The small bundle carried by the Fool is a symbol of beginnings. The Fool has not yet accumulated knowledge, experience, or material possessions. The dog at the Fool's feet represents his companion, the instinct of self-preservation that warns of danger. But the Fool does not heed the warnings. God guides the Fool through life, protecting him from serious troubles. You can hear a poetic description of the Rider-Waite Fool card in the famous song by the Beatles, The Fool on the Hill. But the Fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning around. Nevertheless, on the iconic cover of the album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, they placed an image not of Arthur Edward Waite, but of Aleister Crowley, the creator of the Thoth Tarot deck. The tarot card, the Fool by Thoth, differs significantly from other decks. Here we see a demonic figure with horns, the spring god, Dionysus. According to Aleister Crowley himself, this card is the main equation of the world, the merging of yin and yang, masculine and feminine, positive and negative, resulting in the perfect zero. That's why Dionysus is included within the double zero. However, madness is not always harmless, especially when it comes to the madness of kings. I have already told the story of Isabeau of Bavaria and her husband, Charles the Mad. But there are other examples. Joanna of Castile, who inherited the throne from her mother, Isabella of Castile, went mad when her beloved husband, Philip the Handsome, unexpectedly died. She traveled with his coffin throughout the country and periodically demanded that the coffin be opened so she could look at him. The procession only stopped at male monasteries because Joanna didn't want women to come near her beloved's coffin. Throughout this time, she was pregnant. This went on for almost 6 months until she gave birth to a daughter. Only after that did Joanna allow her husband to be buried. During this time, the country was in a state of anarchy until her father declared himself regent in her name. Echoes of the danger of madness can be found when reading the Fool card in the Marseille Tarot. Traditionally, it is interpreted as representing a sense of unpredictability and lack of caution. Even in regular playing card decks, an analog of the Fool card has been preserved, namely the Joker card, which is often depicted in a jester's cap. This card can replace any card in the deck, thus changing the course of the game. In the Alchemy 1977 England Tarot, the Fool is exactly like that. He does not play by others' rules but creates his own. Dear Wanderer, my story has come to the end, and now it's time to embark on a journey to explore the next major arcana cards.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment. I only have one question. What happened? Did your balls drop off? Hmm? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. No, you complete me. Do I really look like a guy with a plan? Because it's all part of the plan. Evening, Commissioner. See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push. I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. A little fight, you know. I like that. Let her go. Very poor choice of words. Do you want to know why I use a knife? Guns are too quick. You can't savor all the little emotions. You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are. So, in a way, I knew your friends better than you ever did. Would you like to know which of them were cowards?
Let him go now! Drop it on the floor now! Drop the weapon!
Sorry?
What do you want?
I just want my phone call. Why so serious? And I thought my jokes were bad. Let's not blow this out of proportion. How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone. If you're good at something, never do it for free. You see, I'm a guy of simple taste. I enjoy dynamite and gunpowder and gasoline. What's it? And you know the thing that they have in common? They're cheap. I'm only burning my half. All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to them. It's not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns. Tell your men they work for me now. This is my city. They won't work for the freak. Why don't we cut you up into little pieces and feed you to your pooches? And then we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is. Now, our operation is small, but there's a lot of potential for aggressive expansion. So which of you fine gentlemen would like to join our team? Oh, there's only one spot open right now, so we're gonna have tryouts. Make it fast.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Stocks plunge, the Dow dropping nearly 900 points after President Trump would not rule out the possibility of a recession. Also tonight, the images of massive fiery collision involving a U.S. tanker. First tonight, the stock market's in a spiral today, the Dow losing nearly 900 points. The NASDAQ suffering its worst day in nearly 3 years after President Trump refused to dismiss the possibility of a recession following his moves on tariffs. And tonight, what Canada's new Prime Minister-elect has now declared. The fiery collision at sea involving a U.S. tanker, flames and black smoke pouring from that tanker, hit by another ship. Both ships erupting into flames. In the U.S., the explosive plane crash in the Northeast, the plane slamming into a Pennsylvania parking lot. And now, the survivor story tonight. And just in, there's word a medical helicopter has gone down. There was news coming in tonight of the search for a missing college student on spring break with her friends. In New York City, the aerials late today, the major protest after a former Columbia graduate student who led pro-Palestinian demonstrations at Columbia has now been detained by ICE agents. Tonight, the major blow for the Menendez brothers, what the new DA has now declared in their battle for freedom. Tonight, the new talks set between U.S. officials and Ukraine, and the message President Zelensky sent to President Trump. James Longman in Ukraine tonight. Back here in the U.S., the tornado hitting Florida today at EF2 near Orlando. Multiple homes damaged or destroyed. Outside New York City, the major wildfires in the Hamptons, and tonight, what they're now saying about arson. Former talk show host Wendy Williams in the news tonight, reportedly throwing a note out her window. Police then responding to a 911 call. And country superstar Luke Combs and his very personal reveal tonight. You got a fast call. The country singer bravely sharing his difficult condition.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
March
with
10th.
Good evening, and it's great to start another possibility of a recession. The uncertainty rattling investors, rattling Americans from Wall Street to Main Street, already on edge over the president's on-again, off-again tariffs with Mexico, Canada, and China, with other countries on his tariff list beginning April 2nd. Today, the Dow plunging nearly 900 points, down more than 2% today. The Dow now down 4% since President Trump was elected. The tech-heavy NASDAQ index falling 4% just today, its worst one-day plunge in nearly 3 years now, losing about $1 trillion in value. The president has said we're in a period of transition and that it, quote, takes a little time. He has warned his moves could bring temporary disruption. It certainly has brought confusion and now real concern on Wall Street. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce leading us off tonight.
President Trump today out of sight as his words sent the stock market into freefall. Wall Street suffering its worst day of the year, the Dow closing nearly 900 points down after the president refused to rule out that the U.S. could be heading into a recession.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America. That's a big thing. And there are always periods of, it takes a little time. It takes a little time. But I think it should be great for us.
His team sent a different message. The Commerce Secretary insisting no way is a recession on the horizon.
Should Americans brace for a recession?
Absolutely not. There's going to be no recession in America.
But just hours later, when asked again, that's not what the president said.
Are you worried about a recession? Maria Bartiromo asked you, and you kind of hesitated.
I'll tell you what, of course you hesitate. Who knows?
It comes as the president has launched a trade war with our closest trading partners, Mexico and Canada, imposing stiff tariffs and threatening more to come. Economists warn American companies will pay those tariffs and pass the costs onto consumers by raising prices.
If the U.S. imposes tariffs to the degree that the president has been talking about and maintains them for more than a few months, I think a recession will be unavoidable.
Wednesday, Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum coming into the country are set to go into effect, which could mean that by Memorial Day, Americans will be paying more for everything from washing machines and toasters to canned goods and cars. It comes after weeks of whiplash, Trump announcing tariffs, then pausing them, then threatening even more.
The president's been talking about tariffs. They're on again, they're off again. It's unclear which countries, which products, which companies, for how long. That's something that businesses just can't grapple with.
We're hearing it from small business owners like Brian Boggs, who makes custom furniture in Asheville, North Carolina.
You know, we're all used to uncertainty, but this is a mess.
And tonight, the roller coaster ride isn't over. Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, making it clear that in this trade war, he's ready to match Trump blow for blow.
We didn't ask for this fight, but Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
Now, again, no comment from the president tonight. Last week, Trump, who famously watches the markets, claimed he isn't even paying attention to Wall Street. One person likely with an eye on stocks, though, Elon Musk. Tesla stock down over 41% so far this year, over 14% just today. Asked tonight if getting into government was worth the backlash to his business, Musk saying, quote, "It's tough sledding, but I think we're doing the right thing here." David.
Mary Bruce leading us off again this week from the White House. Mary, thank you. Now to that dramatic collision at sea, a Portuguese container ship plowing into the side of a U.S. oil tanker that was anchored in the North Sea, about 10 miles off the coast of England. The collision rupturing a tank on the U.S. ship containing jet fuel, causing multiple explosions, fire and thick black smoke seen for miles. The crew on both vessels abandoning ship. ABC's Marcus Moore tonight in Grimsby, England. Longman from Ukraine. James.
Well, David, after that disastrous meeting at the White House, Ukraine and the United States are meeting in Saudi Arabia for peace talks. This is after President Zelensky wrote a letter to Donald Trump expressing his regret for how that meeting went. Now, Zelensky himself won't be involved, but his team will meet with the U.S. delegation led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. ABC understands that Ukraine will present its plan for a truce to stop Russia from firing missiles and drones into Ukraine. Now, of course, the United States pause on military aid is still in effect. Intelligence sharing as well. That looks like it's already having an impact on the battlefield, but this will be Ukraine's second chance to get that minerals deal signed and hopefully lay the groundwork for a lasting peace. David.
James Longman tracking these talks for us. James, thank you. When we come back, the images coming in, the tornado hitting Florida today in EF2 near Orlando, multiple homes damaged or destroyed. Also, what they're now saying about the wildfires on Long Island. And tonight, right here, the deeply personal reveal from country superstar Luke Combs.
Carries with it clarity, self-respect, and satisfaction. The magic word is work. To live life to its fullest translates into work. Years ago, the people of a very successful civilization thought they had all the answers to success. The king called the wisest men in the kingdom together and said, "I want you to write down all the reasons why we are successful. Place them in writing so future generations will be able to read them and duplicate our successes." They worked frantically for nearly 2 years and came back with the answer. It consisted of 12 volumes. The ruler glanced at it and said, "This is great, but it's too long." He then challenged them to simplify their findings. Worn down and beaten, 6 months later, they came back with their findings confined to one sentence. If all future generations understood this one sentence, they would be in position to conquer anything. The sentence simply read, "There's no such thing as a free lunch." Work gives our life meaning. Work raises our self-image. Work is victory. So get busy and work with all your might. And that's your motivation. Say to yourself today, I will find my way in the world through my work. And as always, your motivation is always for you because it's way bigger than me. Welcome to your Tuesday. Grand Rising and Shining.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mommy.
Thank you for choosing Channel 5 as your Armageddon network.
Mom, where's Dad?
I don't know, Chris.
Sorry I'm late, guys.
Peter, where have you been?
Look, you try scheduling a haircut today.
You know, you'd think you'd want to spend your last day on Earth with your family.
Hey, I'm here, aren't I?
With only seconds left. Don't you love me?
Of course I love you, Lois. You're the most important person in the world to me.
You promise?
I promise. 10, 9, 8. I just hate being around the kids. What? 6, 5. Sorry, I just thought I'd be honest since we're gonna die. 3, 2, 1. April Fools!
What?
You gotta be kidding me.
We're not gonna die? No, we're not gonna die.
They're not
What
dying.
did Dad just say?
Yes, April Fools. We at Channel 5 News concocted the whole black hole story as part of our commitment to being festive around the holidays.
And with only 87 suicides and widespread looting, we think this was a pretty successful practical joke.
You dicks! Hey, how do you like that, Lois? We're gonna live!
Peter, what did you mean by what you said? You hate being around the kids?
Yeah, Dad, what did you mean?
Don't you like us? Yeah, what gives? Well, oh, come on, I didn't mean that. I was just joking around. Hey, give me a big hug. How about a big hug for old Dad?
Kids, why don't you go upstairs so your father and I can talk?
Yeah, come on, Meg and Chris. Let's get out of here.